Okay, get this. We're going way back in time for our deep dive today. Like way back.
Sounds exciting.
Early human societies. But not just the usual boring history stuff.
Oh.
We're going to see how those folks shaped the environment and what that tells us about our world today.
I like where this is going.
You gave us chapters on hunter-gatherers, the agricultural revolution, then cities popping up, the whole shebang.
A lot happened in those early days, that's for sure.
So we're going to uncover the surprising links between how people lived, their tech, and the planet. You'll walk away thinking differently about human impact, I guarantee it.
I'm ready to dive in.
Did you know, for most of human history, people were hunter-gatherers? We're talking tens of thousands of years.
It's true. It puts our modern lives into perspective.
Big time. So no grocery stores, no Amazon Prime. How do they even survive?
Imagine small groups, always moving, following food and resources. They were totally in tune with their surroundings.
You're saying they weren't just primitive, they were like nature experts.
Exactly. Take the San people in southern Africa. They knew if they burned certain plants at specific times, edible tubers would grow better.
Whoa, so they were manipulating their environment already.
In a way, yeah. They knew the plant life cycles inside and out. Their knowledge wasn't just survival, it was about managing resources long term.
Okay, but everyone thinks hunter-gatherers were eco-saints. But they hunted, right? What was their real impact?
They weren't passive, they were part of the ecosystem. Hunting certain animals, sometimes older or weaker ones, helped keep prey populations healthy.
So a natural kind of population control.
You could say that. And then there's fire. We think destruction, but they used it for landscape management.
Like how?
Aboriginal Australians did fire stick farming. Small, controlled burns prevented huge wildfires and helped certain plants grow.
So they were boosting biodiversity too.
Exactly. Their actions had ripple effects, shaping the environment in big ways. Makes you wonder if we've lost some of that wisdom, being in balance with nature. It's a good question to ponder. There's definitely stuff we can learn from them, even today.
For sure. But speaking of changes, let's jump to the agricultural revolution. Around 10,000 years ago, boom, everything's different.
Huge turning point. We went from nomads to farmers, growing crops, taming animals.
And that must have shaken up the environment big time.
Oh, absolutely. Imagine forests cleared for fields. Studies show tons of deforestation after agriculture took off.
They were reshaping the earth, literally.
They were. But as populations grew, demand for farmland increased. The impact got bigger.
They weren't oblivious to this, right?
No, they came up with solutions too. Irrigation, for one, helped grow crops in dry places.
Big changer.
Totally. But also new problems like overuse and salty soil. And then there's terracing, making steps on hills to stop erosion.
Shows they were thinking long term, at least somewhat.
Yeah, constant balance. Yeah. Feeding people versus protecting the environment. We're still dealing with that today.
Totally. It's like they laid the groundwork for so many issues we're facing now. But they were innovating too.
Absolutely. And that innovation led to another huge shift. Cities.
We'll get into those next time. But wow, what a start to our deep dive. From hunter-gatherers to the birth of farming. It's amazing how interconnected humans and the environment have always been.
It really is. And we'll see how that connection plays out even more as we explore the rise of cities in our next segment. Don't miss it. Welcome back. So we've seen how those early societies actually impacted their world. Now let's get into the ideas behind it all.
Right, like what did they think about nature? How did that shape their actions?
Yeah, philosophies. It's fascinating how different cultures viewed humanity's place in the natural world.
And how those ideas have stuck with us, for better or worse.
Totally. So where do we even begin? Well, got to start with the Greeks, right?
Classic.
Aristotle, huge influence. He was all about observing nature to find its purpose, its order.
Like everything has its place.
Exactly. Humans were part of it, but at the top, naturally.
So not quite we rule everything kind of thinking.
Not exactly. Special place, yes, but also responsibility. Live according to nature's rules.
Interesting. How'd that change later on? Like with Christianity coming in?
Big shift. The idea of dominion popped up. Humans given authority over nature by God.
Ooh, that's a loaded one.
Totally. Interpreted in tons of ways. Sometimes control, sometimes caretaking.
Stewards versus conquerors, that old debate.
Yeah. How those views played out over time, it's fascinating. And then, bam, the modern era hits.
Science exploding, the Enlightenment.
People like Francis Bacon, they were all about experiments, unlocking nature's secrets.
Which led to some amazing progress, gotta admit.
Oh, for sure. Medicine, agriculture, technology, booming. but.
There's a but coming. I can feel it.
It also made us feel separate from nature, something to be studied, controlled, even exploited.
Not part of it anymore.
Right. And that sets the stage for the Industrial Revolution and all its consequences.
Oh, yeah. Pollution, resource depletion, the whole 9 yards.
Exactly. Harnessing nature's power, but at what cost? Those philosophical ideas, they really did shape things.
Wow, yeah. So those ideas are still around today, influencing us even if we don't realize it.
Big time. Makes you wonder, where do they leave us now? With climate change and all.
That's the question.
Right. The 20th century's environmental movement, they push back on those old views. Think Rachel Carson, Silent Spring.
Groundbreaking book.
Totally. Expose the dangers of pesticides, how we're not separate from nature, our actions have consequences.
A wake-up call for sure.
It sparked this awareness. Everything is connected. We're messing with that balance. And then new philosophies came out challenging the humans rule idea.
Like deep ecology, ecofeminism, all that.
Yeah. Deep ecology says all life has value, not just what's useful to us.
Not about our benefit, but just because nature is.
Exactly. A total change in thinking.
Yeah.
And ecofeminism, it connects the domination of women with exploiting nature.
Whoa, I never thought of it like that.
Right. Those systems of power and control, harmful to both. And then there's environmental justice.
Making sure everyone benefits from environmental protection, not just the privileged few.
Right on. These perspectives are shaping how we see sustainability, ethics, all of it.
It's an evolving conversation, which is hopeful, right? Shows we can learn and change.
For sure. It's our ability to adapt. So with all these ideas, is there one you lean towards?
Honestly, that idea of interconnectedness just keeps coming back. We're part of this web. Our actions ripple out.
From separation to belonging, that's the shift we need.
Couldn't agree more. But let's talk about the big one, climate change. It kind of throws a wrench in all this, right?
Definitely. Can't talk about humans and nature without it. It's not just one society's impact, but all of us, globally.
Yeah, that's heavy stuff. Our responsibilities to the planet, to future generations.
Intergenerational justice, exactly. Ensuring a livable world for everyone coming after us. So how does climate change fit into all these philosophies we've been talking about?
It really challenges that dominion idea, doesn't it?
Totally. We're not in control like we thought. Climate change proves it. Consequences go way beyond what we can see right now.
Like we're not just on this planet, but part of its systems.
Exactly. So we need to shift from taking to giving back, nurturing the systems that keep us alive.
That's a whole new way of thinking.
Climate change isn't just an environmental problem. It's cultural, social, philosophical. We got to change how we see ourselves.
Our choices matter individually and as a whole. Got to create a better future.
That's it. Our well-being, the planet's well-being, they're tied together.
Okay, so we've talked a big game about interconnectedness, human impact, all that. But what do we do with it? How do we actually make a difference?
Right. That's the big question, isn't it? It's easy to get overwhelmed, feel like our actions don't matter.
Totally. So where do we even start?
I think it comes down to those everyday choices. What we're buying, what we're eating, how we get around.
Being more mindful, basically.
Yeah, like with food. Cutting back on meat, especially factory farm stuff, can make a huge difference.
Less meat, less impact. Got it. What else?
Supporting local farms, organic if you can. Then there's all the stuff we buy, you know? Our consumer culture is out of control.
Oh, tell me about it. I'm a sucker for a good sale.
We all are. But we got to ask ourselves, do I really need this? Reduce, reuse, repair. Those are the magic words.
Makes sense. And when we do buy, maybe choose companies that are trying to do things right, ethically, sustainably.
Exactly. It's about putting your money where your values are. Transportation, too. Big one.
You mean driving less?
Yeah. Can you walk, bike more, public transit? All those little things add up.
It's like we're all part of this giant puzzle, and our choices are the pieces.
And when we start making those changes ourselves, we can push for bigger change, too, you know?
Like how?
Vote for politicians who care about the environment. Support organizations doing good work. Talk to your friends and family. Spread the word.
So individual action plus making our voices heard.
Exactly. But honestly, it can be tough to stay hopeful sometimes.
Tell me about it. Climate change is scary stuff.
It is. But I find hope in how resilient nature is. And in all the people out there fighting for the planet.
Yeah, there are a lot of good people doing good things.
We're not alone in this. Every action counts, every voice matters. It's about taking those steps, even if they're small, and keeping that momentum going.
This has been quite the journey. We've gone from ancient societies to climate change, philosophy, and everything in between.
From fire stick farming to sustainable shopping, right? It's all connected.
What a deep dive. Thanks for joining us. Keep learning, keep questioning, keep making a difference. Until next time.